Environment, Forestry and Mining on its consideration of the proposed gazettement of the following specified public forest land. 1. Turbo Forest, Manzini area. 2. Mount Elgon Forest, Chepiuk area. And 3. Kakamega Forest, Shiro and Shaviringa area. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Budget.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 24th June 2026. Report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on its consideration of the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2026. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Environment.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That taking into consideration the findings of Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining in its report on consideration of petition by the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry relating to variation of boundaries of Turbo Forest, that is Manzini area, Mount Elgon Forest, Chepiuk, phases 2 and 3, and Kakamega Forest, Shiro/Shaviringa settlement schemes laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 24th June 2026, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 34(5) of the Forest Conservation and Management Act, Cap 385, this House, 1, finds that the petition by the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry relating to the variation of boundaries of the Turbo Forest, Manzini area, Mount Elgon Forest, Chepiuk, phases 2 and 3, and Kakamega Forest, Shiro/Shaviringa settlement schemes provides sufficient grounds for the variation of the boundaries of the specified public forests, and 2, approves 1, that the boundaries of Turbo Forest be varied by excluding 1,241.5 hectares in the Manzini area from the original boundaries of the forest for the settlement of the landless quarters in the Manzini forest block. 2, that the boundaries of Mount Elgon Forest be varied by excluding 4,647 hectares in the Chepiuk area from the original boundaries of the forest for the settlement of landless squatters in Chepiuk, phase 2 and 3, and 3, that the boundaries of Kakamega Forest be varied by excluding 94.99 hectares at Shiro and 36 hectares at Shaviringa from the original boundaries of the forest as compensation for beneficiaries who surrendered land to government to establish public institutions and government offices. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8, Committee of the Whole House.
I call the House to order. We're now on the Committee of the Whole House, the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023. By the Honorables Miri Odhiambo Mabona MP and the Honorable Khair Harun MP, co-sponsors.
Clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, the honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. Sorry, honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 3, 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Honorable, is it Khair? You have an amendment to the clause 7?
Yes, sir.
Proceed and move your amendment. Where is it? Where's the amendment? she's moving?
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before clause 6.
Before clause 7.
Clause 7. I beg to move that clause 7 be amended as it appears
On the order paper.
on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 7 be amended as it appears in the order paper. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 7 be amended as it appears on the order paper. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 7 as amended be a part of the bill. As many of the opinion say aye? Aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 8 and 9.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 8 and 9 be part of the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that clauses 8 and 9 be part of the bill. As many of the opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
Clause 10.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Honorable members, the Honorable Khair, you're moving an amendment to this bill, to this clause?
Yes.
Proceed.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 10 be deleted. I will be moving an amendment to introduce a new part 2 which seeks to establish the Kenya Sign Language Council.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 10 be deleted. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 10 be deleted. As many of the opinions say aye, as many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it.
Clause 11.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. There's an amendment. Honorable Khair, move the amendment.
I beg to move that clause 11 be deleted. I'll be moving an amendment to introduce a new part which seeks to establish the Kenya Sign Language Council.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 11 be deleted. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 11 be deleted. As many of the opinions say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Honorable mover, you have an amendment, so move the amendment.
Beg to move that the clause. I beg to move that
Clause 12 be deleted.
clause 12 be deleted. I will be moving an amendment as well.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 12 be deleted. Honorable members, I put the question now, clause 12 be deleted. As many of the opinions say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill.
I beg to move that clause 13 to be deleted.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 13 be deleted. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 13 be deleted. As many of the opinions say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Honorable members, is there an amendment? Okay. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. As many of the opinion say aye. As many of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
Honorable members, I propose the question. Honorable Ngusia, and who is the other honorable member who is consulting in loud tones just next to the chair, to the table? Take your seats. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. There is an amendment, so move the amendment.
I beg to move that clause 15 to be amended. This will be replacing the expression of the word cabinet secretary with the term council.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. As many of the opinions say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 15 be part of the bill as amended. As many of the opinions say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it.
Clauses 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Honorable members, I propose that clauses 16, 17, 18, and 19 be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that clauses 16, 17, 18, and 19 be part of the bill. As many of the opinions say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, before I proceed with the bill, I want to recognize the presence of students from Koitaburot Comprehensive School in Sigawet, Koin constituency of Kericho, and students from Athi St. Michael Academy, Juja, Kiambu County, who are in the public gallery. Tell them, welcome to Parliament, National Assembly. This is where affairs of this country for the welfare of society and just government of the people are determined. And I will ask the Honorable Kalasinga to say a word of encouragement to the students who are in the public gallery. Call on, Honorable. Can you give the mic to Honorable Kalasinga? MP for Kabuchai. MP for Kabuchai. This side. Yes, behind. That one is not working, so come forward. Yes. Proceed and give a word.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportune moment to welcome the students to this very honorable house. This is a house where laws governing this country are made. This is a place where you can find honorable members sitting and discussing issues. Some of the students benefit from CDF bursaries. This is where we decide how to assist them. I only want to tell them, the Speaker, that while in schools, may they maintain decorum. We spend CDF money to build schools and classes and dormitories. We spend a lot of money for taxpayers' money. We don't want them to burn those buildings. So, Mr. Speaker, that's the advice I can throw to them. And thank you for welcoming him back, Mr. Speaker, after leaving this house unceremoniously. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, the Honorable Mary Ann Keitani. There has to be a role for there's a gender balance in this house.
Of course.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I would wish to welcome the students who have come in to see the proceedings of Parliament. And as you've heard, it's a house of records. It's a house where laws are made, the laws governing this country. It's also a place where we oversight what the executive does. We want to tell the students, today we are here, tomorrow you may be right now you're up there, tomorrow you may be down here making the same laws and making sure the country works. We want to wish you all the best. Work smart, work very hard in school, because the future is yours. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and welcome them to Parliament.
Excellent. Now we're proceeding on with the bill.
New Part 1, a proposal to insert a heading immediately before Clause 1.
I'll call the mover, Honorable Mulkhair.
I beg to move that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before Clause 1.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before Clause 1, Part 1 preliminary. Now, honorable members, I now put the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before Clause 1, Part 1 preliminary. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q.
The honorable members, mover.
Honorable,
Move second reading.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q be now read a second time.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q be now read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that clauses. Honorable Keitani, you want to say something? Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This particular bill and these particular clauses creating this council is a very noble idea. It's a very good idea on sign language, and it's going to help a lot of our people who actually are not able to use voice as we are doing right now to be able to communicate with the public. And a lot of what they do has not been regulated before, yet they require that service. I think this particular bill has come not just at the right time. It could have come sooner, but this is the best time, and we want to thank the sponsors, Honorable Umu and Honorable Millie Odhiambo, for thinking about this particular bill and bringing it to Parliament. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q be now read a second time. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q be part of the bill. I now put the question. The new clauses 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, 5H, 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O, 5P, and 5Q be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
New Part 3, a proposal to insert the following heading before Clause 6. Part 3, access and non-discrimination.
Honorable Molher.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before Clause 6, Part 3, access and non-discrimination.
I now propose the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following headings immediately before Clause 6, Part 3, access and non-discrimination. Anybody? Honorable members, I now put the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before Clause 6, Part 3, access and non-discrimination. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. What's the point of order?
Just to request the honorable member who is making the proposed amendment that for purposes of the record and for enriching the lawmaking process, if she could highlight at least in one line the reason why she would like to make those amendments so that this is able to speak to the public and those also who wish to support. Thank you. Did you get my question? Because she's
I get it. I'm just wondering at what opportune time did you do it? Because this is a house of rules. You should have raised that earlier.
I wanted to catch your eye, Speaker,
but you
and
did.
I also didn't want to interrupt her. I just really so that she may enrich the process with at least a little line to explain the justification.
Okay, fair enough for us not to be seen to be floating the rules. In the subsequent amendment, you give us an input on exactly how the honorable member wants, or rather how the nation has to be informed on those changes, so that you highlight, you expound, you express more, you demonstrate. Let's not just look technical and say A, B, and the rest, and Kenyans will not be able to understand that. But that's in the subsequent one.
New Clause 8A.
Honorable members, honorable member, the mover, move close.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the new clauses 8A and 8B be now read a second time.
Order 8A first.
8.
Move 8A first.
Oh, apologies.
New clause 8A.
I beg to move that the new clause 8A be now read a second time.
Honorable members, the honorable member, explain exactly why you want it to be. And in
Thank you,
addition to
Chair.
that, also you expound on the
previous
amendment
clause.
that you made previously, which Honorable Aluoch sought from you for the benefit of Kenyans and members of parliament here.
Thank you, Chair. I also want.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I want to let Honorable Cheng know that I'm still learning the ropes and that this is the first time I'm actually moving
Yes.
a bill with amendments. Of course, I've had my other contributions, so it's good that he encourages
At the
me
stage
to.
where she is now, Honorable Aluoch, you can also assist him.
So, but to speak to the previous amendments, Honorable Chair, as we are aware, we have so many deaf and users of the sign language. This particular bill being a language bill and not a disability bill, that the previous amendment would be able to assist deaf users follow. Yes, the initial amendment that I moved will be able to assist deaf learners in the classroom have comfortable sessions while they are going through their education. As we are currently aware, we have access to education up to the primary level, but we are still struggling at the tertiary level. The bill will be able to ensure that children are taught sign language from the minute they enter the classroom. Kenya recognizing sign language as one of its official languages, just like we teach Swahili and English in the classrooms. Many deaf learners are not able to integrate into society. So that initial amendment will be ensuring that children are able to learn sign language from the minute they join their education up until their completion. That way we are able to eliminate the barriers of communication, because if you look at students in universities, we rarely see deaf learners going through courses like medicine or studying teaching. They are confined currently to just ECD classes, which is offered by the Kenya Institute of Special Education. This particular amendment will be forcing public institutions to provide interpreters at all levels, in the courtrooms, at police stations, especially because we still have cases of gender-based violence even affecting ladies who are deaf. We still have deaf people who are not able to speak to their medical officers at the hospitals. We still have deaf students who are dropping out of school up until immediately they finish their high school. This particular amendment that I moved will be forcing the government to ensure they provide interpreters for the deaf people, whether they're in public spaces or the classrooms. Thank you, Speaker.
The Honorable Aluoch, followed by my Honorable Mili, I'm coming to you. You are a co-sponsor for this bill. Where have you been?
Yes, and Honorable Speaker, I've been stepping in for Millie to really encourage Umi. And also, she's doing very well.
Aluoch, give me a moment. Let me propose the question first, and then you then debate. Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 8A be now read a second time. Proceed, Honorable Aluoch.
Yes, I was just stepping into...
Next to you. The mic is next to you.
I was just stepping in to further encourage the Honorable Member, and I was stepping in for Honorable Millie. Honorable Millie is doing a very good job at mentoring the young legislators. And so just to encourage Honorable Umi, that at a time like this, you merely just say one line to support. And I'm happy, Speaker, Chair, you did not interrupt, but one line in 30 seconds just to say the justification would suffice. But she's doing a very good job under the mentorship of Millie. I support the amendment.
The Honorable Marianne Keitani, followed by the Honorable Dikiri, and then we come to the gracious Lady Mabona.
Thank you, thank you. I did not remember Honorable Millie asking Honorable Watch to become the...
No, he was very clear that he's a mentor for Honorable Umi.
No. The part of being a mentor is correct, but as to whether he was holding brief for Honorable Millie, that I do not remember Honorable Millie giving any motion to say on Lodge will be holding brief. However, Honorable Chair, the particular clause on the media services is a very good clause that has come to help, especially the people who use sign language, because many media stations are not able, or when they are broadcasting their programs, they don't give the opportunity those people who use sign language to be able to follow the proceedings. This particular clause will make it mandatory for any media station that when they are running their programs to be able to also insert areas where the media or the people who are using sign language can then be able to follow proceedings. This is a very good move, and I support. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Ndikiri.
Thank you. First, let me congratulate the mover of this bill. Mr. Chair, it is not only the media where we need sign interpreters. Even us here, when we are speaking to the community, we need to have somebody here in our screen who is transmitting and trying to interpret what the proceedings of Parliament are. Mr. Chairman, we are also good as members of Parliament because we hold public meetings and public participation, but rarely do we have sign interpreters. This motion and this bill is coming the end time. And we need to make it, because we will pass it, but we have to implement and ensure that the regulations that we shall put in place, they take cognizance of the fact that we have a growing population of Kenyans who can be categorized as deaf. And the most unfortunate thing is we don't even have the statistics, but it would be amazing to note that we have a high population of deaf in this country. And they should not be left behind by all standards. So the mover, congratulations. This is very important. The forgotten people are now being considered in our new government. I thank you.
Do you wish to be informed by the Honorable, is that Otene Amolo?
Yes, my senior brother,
Yes.
he can.
Yeah. What's your
Thank you.
information?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Ndikiri is my twin. You can even see from our hair. But I wanted to inform the Honorable Ndikiri so that the nation does not actually think that this parliament is not sensitive, and I'll be supporting the amendment. But whenever the parliamentary broadcast the proceedings in parliament, there is always an interpreter on the screen. So at least that we've taken care of. Secondly, during meetings, and we started this with the public participation bill that actually also focuses on interpretation for those who are unable to discern what is being said. Even during the sessions on public participation, in all the sessions that this parliament undertook nationally, and I was part of the team, we had at least sign language interpreters. So I wanted to say I agree with the Honorable Ndikiri, but the situation is not so bad. As a National Assembly, at least we are trying. Thank you.
The Honorable Ndikiri?
Yes, I quite agree, but the only problem that I have, Mr. Chair, is that we don't know the magnitude of the people who are deaf in this country. I think that is very important to note, because we might assume there are few, but we need somebody to focus and give us the correct statistics, even determined per region, to know the magnitude of the people that we are talking through the sign interpretation. I thank you, my twin, for that.
Okay.
But I think the most important thing also is the research so that we can know how many Kenyans are deaf that requires this kind of service. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Mabona, and then I come to the, yes, Meli Mabona. Honorable Millie Mabona, sign language is not one of the official languages in the parliament until such time that there's a legislation.
Mr. Speaker,
Indeed, I'm reminded it is actually. Yes, proceed now.
it is actually a language.
Okay,
The
fair
only
enough.
challenge, Mr. Speaker, is you can see that there is no member who is following me. Because no member, only, what did I say?
What's
if you
your
are
point of
following
order,
me?
Honorable Alwaj?
What did I say? I
Alwaj?
said 3 things and you don't know.
Order,
You
Honorable.
are just trying to guess.
Order, Honorable Alwaj, what's your point of order?
I rarely interrupt my whip, but the standing orders require that when you start in a certain language,
You finish
must
with that
conclude.
language.
So may the Honorable Millie Odhiambo conclude in the manner in which she began. Now this being a an official language, please proceed in the manner you
Honorable
started.
Millie Mabona, you
Mr. Speaker, I've actually communicated, but it doesn't do, you can see.
none of
Mr.
us
Speaker,
knows.
I will go and request that you protect me under standing order number 1, which allows you to enable me to speak in a different language because the rest of the members will not understand what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, I just actually wanted to communicate what this amendment is about. But before I communicate that, I want to just thank Honorable Umi for this bill. She's doing an excellent work for a person who is in parliament for the very first time. She's actually done some of us very proud. What we don't know is she's actually been given an opportunity to present even in international fora with even former president of Liberia, Helen Sharif Johnson, in a panel where I was supposed to be. I stepped down for her. And she's done us very proud. And I want to say that she's doing very, very well. Mr. Speaker, you are asking where I was. And my apologies have come late as a co-sponsor. She's a primary sponsor of this bill. Mr. Speaker, as you do realize, yesterday we are here with the fisheries bill until very, very late.
Yes, you're right.
And I was moving very many amendments, and my brother is here.
Yeah.
I think he has a bit more stamina than me.
Very
I'm more
right.
of a night owl, so that is my apologies. That's the reason I come.
Okay.
But I just want to say, Mr. Speaker, that what I've actually shown here proves this bill, as Umi says correctly, is not a disability bill. It's a mainstreaming bill. It's an empowerment bill. What it seeks to do is the way all of us here speak Swahili and we speak English. We must also speak sign language. I am in the process of learning, and what I just did, which they didn't understand, was to say hello, how are you, thank you. That's the farthest I can go right now. I can't go beyond that. But all of us must be able to know sign language, not only person with disability, then it becomes a disability bill. I'll finish, Mr. Speaker, by giving an example that one time I was invited by persons with hearing disability to train them on advocacy for legislation when they were coming up with a bill for persons with disability. And because I didn't understand issues of disability then, I decided to go a day in earlier to understand. And when I went, because there were actually people with sight disability. And when I went in, I asked for documents, and I was given Braille, because I didn't have any other document. And I understood what it meant to be disabled. Because in my ability, I was actually the disabled one, because I couldn't read Braille. And it just occurred to me how unfair we are to persons who are differently abled. And it behoves us, as members of parliament, to ensure we mainstream sign language from childhood to university, so that it's not just people who are not, who are struggling with the disability that have. I thank you, Honorable Anthony, and my good friend, Honorable Keitany, for holding the fort for me while I was away. I support.
The Honorable Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I want to, before I declare my unwavering support for these 2 clauses on telecommunication and media services, that this is very important, very, very important that people of sign language also enjoy evenings with family. You know, many times when the family sits to watch TV, to do many other things, the person who is hard of hearing, is deaf, just looks at other people and says, so what are they saying? But if we introduce programs where we can have closed captioning for the deaf people in sign language, then actually they become part of family. And I think that's a very important thing, Honorable Chair. Chair, I would like to say this in support of what Honorable Millie Mabona has said. We owe it to certain individuals in this country, especially the development of what we call the Kenyan Sign Language. You know, there's a gentleman I met when I was still at university called Okach, and he left this country, went to South Africa because Kenya at that time never had this kind of development. But he worked so hard to introduce Kenya's, you know, there's sign language and there's Kenya Sign Language. And Okach did a lot of the work. And when he left it to a gentleman called Dr. Jeffwa Mweri, who is at the University of Nairobi, and they set up that center. And I want to really congratulate them for that job. Today, I think this is the happiest moment. If Okach is watching from South Africa and Dr. Jeffwa Mweri from the University of Nairobi is watching, and the people that work together, and the many young people have put their minds and thoughts and energy to develop Kenyan Sign Language, I think this is a proud moment for them. And we have a duty as Parliament to recognize them and to support them and to ensure we birth a bill on the Kenya Sign Language. Therefore, I want to support the clauses and also want to congratulate the young lady, Omulher, for the efforts in putting this bill together. And actually, I can see she's struggling, but she's learning, and she's learning very fast. So let's move on. Let's get a bill on the Kenya Sign Language end today. Tomorrow, the president assents it, and we move on as a country. And this is a milestone in the development of languages in this country.
Justice Kemei wants also to weigh in on this. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity you've given me. First and foremost, Honorable Chair, I want to appreciate the great role the Honorable Millie Odhiambo is doing in mentoring young parliamentarians in this country. Secondly, Honorable Chair, I wish to welcome students from my constituency, from Koitabu Road Comprehensive School. Honorable Speaker, I was in that area yesterday doing public participation as is required of the Constitution. Koitabu Road Comprehensive School is a school which is among the top performers in that area of my constituency. They know the names I'll mention. Yesterday, I was in Kapchebwai, I was in Cheptililik, I was also in Chiramor, I was in Kamasega doing public participation. And Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that this is a learning process for them. Let them learn. One day, one time, they'll also be members of parliament, and they'll do the legislative work which we do at the moment. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
And I'll put the question, honorable members, that the new clause 8A be now read a second time. Will everyone appear and say aye? Will everyone contribute and say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that clause 8A, new clause 8A be part of the bill. I now put the question that new clause 8A be part of the bill. As many have to appear and say aye. As many have to contribute and say nay. The ayes have it.
New clause 8B.
The honorable mover.
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that clause 8B be now read a second time. This clause will be supporting the media services and providing interpretation for the deaf and blind.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the new clause 8B be now read a second time. Yes. You're just after the member of parliament behind you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I rise to actually support this particular amendment in support of telecommunication service providers. Honorable Chair, like has been said by many of my colleagues who've spoken before me, I think this is a very progressive bill, and I have lived through the times that the people who are living with special needs, those ones who cannot hear and those ones who cannot see. I must admit here, Honorable Speaker, that I was part of a mess that happened in the County Assembly of Nandi from the year 2017 to the year 2022, where there was a member who was blind. And that particular member, Honorable Speaker, did not get a braille machine until we left the County Assembly of Nandi. Honorable Speaker, it always reminds me how careless we have been in regards to looking at the issues that are affecting people or persons living with disability. We have been so insensitive that we have had to actually put it and prescribe it in law, so that then we must be forced to pay attention. And this particular Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, I also went to a function that had a sign language interpreter. So the sign language interpreter was seated down where everyone could be able to see them. But Honorable Chair, the most interesting part was we could only see that person when seated here, but the person sitting behind who was supposed to see it from the screen, it was not cast on the screen. And I think this is very progressive, Honorable Chair, that it will require everyone to be able to do this in terms of telecommunication. That if there is a projector, that person should be able to appear right there. And I do support this particular amendment, Honorable Speaker, Chair, so that we can be able to pay attention to the persons living with, differently.
The Deputy Majority Leader.
Probably I need to get some clarification because you are making law for posterity, Winnie, Millie, and Umi. I look at 8B, Honorable Chair, 8B. Telecommunication service providers shall make their services accessible to the deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind community through establishment and provision of relay services. Relay services, including text relay, video relay, that is on telecommunication, captioned telephone relay, and communication facilitators for the deaf, hard of hearing. Now, I want to understand deaf-blind community through establishment and provision, and this is telecommunication, meaning telephony. So I would be interested to understand this more so that we know how practical is it within the current Kenyan context of telephony and telecommunication.
Can you enrich on that? Can you explain? And I must admit that we're all lost on this.
Thank you, Chair. And if you look at the current telco providers that we have in the country, it includes Safaricom, Airtel, and Telcom services. Most of the time, they offer discounted prices to the people who use telephone communication. So those are the hearing community. But what happens with the deaf community is that they use video conferencing, especially on their mobile phones. This particular clause will force these telco providers to not just provide discounted services, but also allow them to use their video telephone conferencing at a cheaper price, because what happens is that anytime a deaf person goes on a video call with another deaf person, immediately their data or their mobile subscription depletes. This is because they are not in the provisions of these particular providers, or when these services were being offered, they were not considered. So this particular clause will be going directly to these telco providers, and I think the Communication Authority will be mandated to review their policy on this. Thank you.
For the interest of the Chair, it says deaf-blind. Deaf-blind basically means somebody who is deaf and at the same time blind. How does this telecommunication technology support somebody who is deaf-blind to communicate? Just is Mary, are you in a position, Mary, to explain that? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, actually the questions that we're asking here shows the problem that we are facing.
Big problem.
Yes, as a country. Yes. Because there are other countries that are able to provide gadgets like that. But because we have not invested in this sector, we are asking how. I don't think it's really up to us even for the House to consider how. Because with the technology, you can. You can, and you...
we shall be enriched at the appropriate time when we have the technology in place. That's what you mean.
What we're saying is, in America, for instance, they have that technology. Okay. Why can't we provide so that we invest in providing that technology?
To allow somebody who's deaf-blind to communicate.
Yes, because the idea is to make it easy. Excellent. I was actually asking one of my friends that the sister lives in a different state. They live in the US. She faced a lot of challenges when she was here in Kenya. But when she went to the US, I told her, so how do you communicate with Grace? And she says, because in the US, the gadgets are provided, so she can call us. So why can't we provide that so that we enable them to communicate the way those other people do? And I think that's what we put here. Yes.
Madam
Yes.
Beatrice, you
Oh, okay, we are making general statements, but you see,
maybe
this
after
law-
Beatrice, allow Beatrice to weigh in, and then you have opportunity. Majority Leader, just allow Beatrice, and then you'll have a shot at it. Yeah.
Honorable Chair,
You'll have a bite at it. Yeah.
I want to support this telecommunication service to be provided. And for the deaf, the blind, and even this one called deaf blind. Honorable Chair, we went for public participation on appeal on environment. And the greatest complaint that we had is that they cannot read the bill, those who are blind, because they don't see, and there's no service that is providing them to have the bill, the braillers are not there, and all that. So if there's a way we can have this telecommunication service to help them, even have maybe in a way to have the bills and anything else that goes with it, especially in public participation, it will be very easy and for us, Honorable Chair. And then, and as I say this, Honorable Chair, we are mourning one of the greatest PWD, a blind man called Raymond Cheruyot, who was very, very instrumental in matters concerning constitution, matters concerning the church and all that. So as this one comes forth, let's remember people who are able differently, so that they can also feel part of Kenya in the best way possible. And finally, I want to join my colleague in welcoming the students and the pupils of Koitap Road Community Comprehensive School, which is a school in Soin sub-county. It is a school where they are doing well. It is a place where sugarcane is grown, and these students, I want to tell them that you can make it be in this parliament. They have been seeing Honorable Chair, the likes of Millie Odhiambo, but now they are on TV, but today they have seen her, the same with Cynthia, and even the Deputy Majority, even yourself, they have been saying that we see them on TV, so today they have seen you, and I wish them well. And I pray that next time they will be in this parliament as woman rep, as MP, and all that. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, do you wish to weigh on this before I put the question?
I would like to say something on
Yes.
this. You know, we are making law for posterity,
Yes.
Honorable Chair, and it's very important that we choose words very well. And the reason why we come to this committee of the whole is to come through words and to come from word to sentence to close. And I think this one of 8B, we need to be careful what we do. You see, 8A, I have no issues with it. 8A, because 8A is about television, media, and all that, okay? And it is easier to achieve and very practical. And actually, this country already is there. When you watch news, there'll be a sub-caption there where somebody is interpreting and all that, yeah? Even sometimes at presidential functions, we see that. But when you come to 8B, and I want us to be very careful, we are saying telecommunication service providers. Telecommunication, this is telephone, this is Airtel, this is Safaricom, this is Telcom, okay? We are telling them, shall, and I want you to mark the word shall, make their services accessible. Accessible, the word accessible, to the deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind community through establishment and provision of relay services, including text relay, video relay. But you see, if you look at the use of the word shall, already when we pass this law, telecommunication services will be bound to provide that, which I have no problem with. But are we providing a transitional clause so that if Owen Buyer today wants to apply for a license to provide telephony services, can I be denied that license on the basis of I am not able to do it based on available technology, the availability of technology at this moment? My suggestion is that we reward this clause and that a further amendment be made on this clause, so that we do not pass a binding, and Billy, you're aware about this, or what we do, we pass, but this one, we what do you call, when you defer a clause, what do you call it? We recommit this. We recommit this clause for the purposes of relooking at it and the consequences on the economy on this matter. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mabona.
Thank you. I hear Honorable Baya very well, but I just want to, for information, I was actually telling him here that when I was in the civil society, there was no provision for by any media house for interpretation, what you now see. And the argument was around costs. And as the credo, we took Nation. They were not very happy with us, not because they are the ones who are discriminating, but we just had to use one media house. And we took them to court, and the matter is still pending, I think, either in the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court. And it's of course now overtaken by event because Nation now provides for interpretation. They have people who are able to help, you know. But at that point, the issue was costs. And Nation has been able to do it. It has not dented them. So and it also creates jobs for interpreters. But what we need, and I think one thing that is very clear, even when you provide this, I'm sure there's a clause on regulations. And so by the time you are doing regulations, it also provides time for transition. But if it's a big issue, we could also still provide for a transition period for up to 1 year. So I think I would advise that we can, you know, provide for a transition period for 1 year to enable telecommunications. Do that. Look at the telecommunications that we are talking about, Safaricom, Airtel, and the rest. Their profits is always declared. They make a lot of money, and I just want to thank them. They do a lot of CSR. But this is not even an issue of CSR. This is beyond CSR. This is enabling human beings to be human, like everybody else. So it's not even an issue of CSR. So with the same capacity they have for CSR, they can still input money into this. So maybe we can put a transitional period for 1 year. So I would agree with you, we can recommit to give us, if we had the time, the drafters who are here could maybe assist in doing just something either on a transition for that 1 year to enable the telecommunication agencies to be able to prepare for that.
In any case, anything that is noble. I mean, I'm also a member of parliament for a constituency called Dadaab. And I remember when we brought up the issue of smoking, and we said we're going to stop smoking in public places. And it was, people could not fathom how much time Kenyans need to be able to get into that habit. And quite a substantial part of our population used to smoke. But today we are a model in the world, because this is one country right now where over 80–90% of our population do not smoke. Big majority. Then there was the issue of what you call the plastics. And we are a leader in the world when it comes to the banning of the plastics. And you know, at the time, everybody. So it's incremental, and it's good to go for the best practices and get the best legislation. And the technicalities of how to achieve that will be, yes, Honorable Faisal. Yes, Namwar.
Thank you, Chair. I thought you were confusing me for Faisal.
Yeah, Faisal is behind you, and the two of you look very alike. I don't know who is. He has rubbed onto you some of his. Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Now, I want to thank Millie and Umul for this. Chair, my contribution will go into the need for leave no one behind. Chair, I think the community, the deaf, the blind, and the deaf-blind community is important in our community, and we may not want or we may not seek to have legislative frameworks that can leave them behind. And so, when we are discussing this, anything, maybe my chief whip is not maybe consuming the word shall that is being used in that amendment. But what I will request from him is, this is a very important community, and I will want to give you an example. I have a friend who has an ALS condition. He cannot speak. All we are seeing is movements of his eyes. The family tried to bring him a computer for him to type using his eyes. And we were communicating before the condition became intense. And if that was possible, that he could use his eyesight to speak to us, to type letters on the computer, and we were able to get the communication, then even this other technology for the deaf-blind is possible. If it is possible in America, it is also possible here in Kenya. Thank you.
Fair enough. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 8B be now read a second time. Will as many of the parents say aye? Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the new clause 8B be part of the bill. There being no interest, I now put the question that new clause 8B be part of the bill. Will the amendment of the say aye? Will the amendment of the contrary say nay? Proceed. The ayes have it. I don't know why I forgot to say the ayes have it, yes.
New clause 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J.
Honorable Mover, move the second reading for the clauses that were just
Honorable
read
Chair,
out by the clerk.
I beg to move that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and now 9J be now read a second time. Honorable Chair, this regulation is to create the Kenya Sign Language Council, which will be able to provide regulation for interpreters and erase the quacks in the market. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, 9J be now read a second time. I'm looking for somebody who has not had a bite. Okay, the Honorable Rikiri, but before you take the floor, I want to recognize in the public gallery a school called Crossroads Star Academy from Dagoretti North, Nairobi. I'm welcome you to the National Assembly. This is the house of laws for the welfare of society and the just government of the people of the Republic of Kenya. So I welcome you. I also welcome, because I want to welcome you both, in the Speaker's Gallery, students from Amaya High School in Tiati, Baringo. Welcome, welcome. You are the future leaders. And sometimes the future is not too far off. Can be just a matter of years. So I will ask the Honorable Namwar to give words of wisdom, words of encouragement to the students who are in both the public and the Speaker's Gallery.
Chairman, I want to thank you so much for welcoming, and I want to join you. Chair, I want to take specific welcome note to the students from Tiati. I am from Turkana County, and they are from Baringo. You know what has been happening between the Pokots and the Turkana in terms of banditry and cattle rustling. And therefore, Chair, mine is to wish them well as they learn, but to avoid any kind of leadership, any kind of aspirations that will deny them an opportunity to learn and to prosper. And even to Chan, to avoid any kind of retrogressive practices like banditry. Thank you, Chair. And we will be able to be ambassadors of peace and prosperity in the two communities. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Rachel Nyamai, who is a member of the Speaker's panel, give a word of encouragement to the girls and the boys you see on both sides. Dr. Rachel Nyamai,
Thank you.
Three-term member of parliament. She's been here for 3 consecutive times. And there she is, an iron lady here. So give words of encouragement to the students.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for those kind words. I would like to also welcome the students who have come from so far away, seated in the public and also in the Speaker's Gallery this morning. I would like to tell them that the sky is the limit. You have the advantage of being young. You have the advantage of having a country that is getting organized by His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. You have a country that has roads, that has electricity, that school books are being bought. So you do not have an excuse not to succeed. So I would like to encourage you that you can be what you want to be. It doesn't matter what kind of a family you come from. Welcome to the National Assembly and continue listening to the proceedings of the House. Thank you, Speaker.
The Honorable Wamboka and the Honorable MP for Kapuchai. Honorable Ndikiri, continue. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've just been consulting the clerks, and I've also consulted the mover that as we do the recommittal on the matter of what the Deputy Majority Leader has brought up, I am of the strong opinion, Mr. Chair, that part of the responsibility of the Council is to call out the research to know the numbers that we are dealing with people who require these services that we are delivering today. Mr. Speaker, if we are able to establish an approximation which cannot be done by guesswork.
Honorable Ndikiri,
yeah.
We are past that. We've already moved from there. We are now in new 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J. 9J. So go through those ones and raise issues on those ones. What you're talking about, we are past it now. Okay, Honorable, yes, Honorable Olwach.
Chair, as I support this proposed amendment, especially the part where regulations would be required to come into place, I want to encourage the core sponsors to move with speed so that we can wind up or iron out some of the issues that were raised by the majority whip and some of the emerging technological issues. I sit in the Committee of Delegated Legislation, and I would be happy that these regulations are brought post-haste so that you can be able to put in place mechanisms for affecting this bill and act. I support.
Honourable members, for the benefit of everybody, we are now deliberating on the registration of sign language interpreters. And that goes from 9A all the way to 9J. So please, let's be relevant, according to the order paper. Yes, the Honourable
I would like to first speak on the new part 4, which has the clauses 9, all the clauses in 9.
Yes.
And Honorable Chair, if you look at these clauses, they talk about registration of sign language interpreters, and they give us qualifications, application registration, register, a certification of registration, effect of registration, and many things, practicing certificate and all that. But good drafting, and probably Loach and Millie, because registration of interpreters, if you read the first clause there, is about a function of the council. And it says, Kenya Sign Language Interpretation Services shall apply for the registration to the council in the prescribed manner.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So this is a function of the council, which should have come under 5C, where you are talking about functions of the council. And then it would have been neater if now these provisions, because you say in the prescribed manner, the prescribed manner here should have been a schedule. So all this information now becomes Schedule A or Schedule B or whatever schedule. Or they can be relegated to a regulation instead of putting all these things into the main body of the bill. It is my suggestion, and if I know Ochieng is a lawyer, I know Millie is a lawyer and a good drafter, I think neatly we would have just created a schedule on what it requires for you to be registered as an interpreter, the qualification, and all those kind of things, and just allowed and removed the whole of Part 9 and allowed this to be a function of the council. And you put it under probably 5C K or 5CA, and then we would have a neater bill. I think we need to reorganize this bill for purposes of a good law. I would like to hear from the lawyers and the drafters that are in the House. I am happy to be guided. I am happy to be guided.
This is a Senate bill. Yes, proceed.
What I wanted to ask the member is, are you then proposing that you recommit? Because I would have expected that you say that you're coming up with an amendment proposing that this be dropped and it be recommitted, where now you put a text for this to go to a schedule and some to go to regulations. That's why I spoke to the question of regulations when I contributed. Maybe you will help the member by saying that I am putting a text for recommittal, that this be taken to the schedule.
Yeah, I'll give you the mic, but two things here. It is the registration and regulation of the interpreters themselves. The rules to be set on how the interpreters have to operate. So yes, yes.
The mic. I am happy to be guided. I am happy to be guided on this. But I would like that we move an amendment, a further amendment to this. And if the drafters are here could give me a text, I would move an amendment or to recommit that we put the registration of interpreters as one, because it's one of the functions of the council. So it becomes a function of council. Then we do a schedule on what are the requirements of because I can see registration, you see, the registration, all these kind, qualifications, application for registration, all these details can just be put together into a schedule. I don't know, I need probably to consult, but I would like to move that amendment so that we make progress. I don't know what the other, be guided.
Yes, Ngusia.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And to add my point on what Owen Byers proposed, I think it's very important to enumerate this function the way he has ordered, and I'm just starting to support what he has said. I think it will reorganize the whole clause, Chair, so I support.
Yes, Ndikiri.
And Mr. Chair, before you load me down, before you load that, we have already passed that clause. Because one great function that we can really build on today's council as a function is on research. As I stand here, the brother that I follow who is retired the other day is a sign expert. He retired as a deputy teacher of Kaga School for the Deaf. And he tells me through a text that we have a problem in the country because we don't know the kind of population that we are talking to or which we need to provide the service. And that's why I was trying to have an understanding, and I've spoken to Mary and Umi, that, and they referred me to the drafters, that the function of research can be inbuilt as the function of the council. And that's exactly what the deputy majority leader is trying to say, that we can really commit that clause so that we bring in that very important function of the council. And I totally agree with the deputy majority leader. It is a very important thing that we can do. But again, remember, you are making this law for posterity. We don't have to go back again and be asked the question by telecommunication services providers, what are we dealing with? Mr. Chair, I think it's good because we are all agreeing this is a very important bill. The voices that we are brought in, and I thank Mary is here and my senior Oluochi are here, that we don't omit some functions which we feel are very important.
Yes, Millie.
Thank you. I'd want to request the deputy majority leader to listen to this. Mr. Speaker, I've heard what he's saying, but he's speaking to the issue of legislative elegance, not substance. And you are also speaking to legislative drafting style, philosophy, or preference. If you look at the Constitution of Kenya, there was a very big debate. There are people who are minimalists who prefer that we just put the principles and the values. But because of the history of what we've gone through in Kenya and what we know of Kenya, when we push things to regulations, they never come as you actually intended. So they are usually compromised. And so for me, it's not defective. If you look at even the National Land Commission and other bodies, the drafting is similar. In fact, I want to thank Honorable Rachel Nyamai for reminding me. It's very similar. So it's really not defective. Yeah, it doesn't harm the bill. Of course, the traditional legislative style that we are used to is more the minimalist, where you go for principle and put things in regulations or in a schedule. But as I had indicated, the challenge you face with that, especially when you are talking about marginalized and minority groups, people don't understand their issues. So when you leave to regulations, you find a person who doesn't understand, and they don't have the advantage of us debating here, representing the entire country, debating here. You'll have 5 people with biases doing their own thing, which will be totally different from what we intend. So I would want to encourage you that and even though I hear you very well, that we allow it to go as it is. It's not fatal. It's not defective.
The Honorable Mabona, yeah. I'll give an opportunity also to our learned friend Oluochi, but before that, Mele Mabona, when you read the section 9, A, B, C, D, all the way I, it's not just registration. Probably the title here should have been part 4, registration and regulation, because the bulk of it is regulation. That you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this. It's not just, registration is a very straightforward thing. You have qualifications, the registering body itself, and the manner of registration. But here, it says a person who meets the requirements under this may apply. No, you see, you go on, and then it tells, as a person shall not provide So it's regulations. It's the registration and regulation. But anyway, I would want to listen to all watch and then come back to you. Yes, this is the thing. But would you want to do the amendments now, or you want to pass it and then you come back for amendments?
That one, sorry, Chair, that's very simple. Doing further amendment by the mover, you just say that part 4 be further amended by providing in the title registration and regulation of sign language interpreters.
Yes.
And then we only provide that in writing and sign. Umi provide in writing and we sign. So I would,
Yes.
I can, as a co-sponsor, I can do that. That we move in the title of part 4 be further amended by providing registration and regulation of sign language interpreters.
I think that more or less satisfies your concerns. You raised a very pertinent thing,
Yes.
and I think it satisfies that.
Now, I think I want to, Millie Mabona is my senior in this house. And sometimes when she speaks, I listen. And I would like to, and I would like to acknowledge her efficacy in law, and that. So I would like to say probably we adopt that for now, and I also take advice from Oloch. We can actually adopt it. But I still have my own misgivings. But for the purposes of the law, for the purpose of the law, let's proceed. Let's proceed. But I would like also to recommit the one 8B. I would like to recommit. I don't know whether you allow me at this level, whether legislatively. Later we will recommit 8B.
Yes, Honorable Alwach.
Chair.
For 8B. I do understand the transition that you mentioned, but what we're saying is that there is no, you see, the progressive, incremental manner in which law itself it comes into force is usually an administrative thing. For example, we have had the 2/3 thing in our constitution. And this constitution says shall. Shall means we must have it. But it's such an impossible thing that it takes time for these things to be actualized. You see what I mean? So I think, in my opinion, we live... Okay. Yes, Oloch.
I'm persuaded by what Honorable Millie has said, for one other reason, that, and I'll give an example. I've moved an amendment for the Basic Education Act for alternative provisions of basic education schools in informal settlements. And this category have perpetually been discriminated because they were operating under some regulations, which under legal notice were never put into place. The effect of that was that there was no budgeting, no capitation, no CSC teachers. So it is possible that on an affirmative action like this, you have a very good bill, relegate the issues to regulations, which will never be implemented. So I'm persuaded that we let even the overprescription, so long as it is not defective in drafting, we go by Millie's. I propose.
Which I put. Yeah, would you want to, yes.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
This is going to be committed.
Chair, I would like to agree with the... I first of all thank the majority leader because he has agreed that we proceed the way the Honorable Millie Odhiambo is suggesting, Odhiambo Mabona. Chair, it's better to over-legislate than to under-legislate.
Absolutely.
And especially on this matter that concerns the deaf and the blind. I think we would rather do the best that we can so that they are able to benefit from information sharing in this country. And Honorable Speaker, I've just looked at the whole write-up, and it concerns continuous learning, how much these people should be paid, how the register should be maintained, even the mannerisms. Honorable Chair, you remember there is a girl, a very pretty girl, who tried to interpret for us, or rather for the people who could not, for the deaf, in an event that was political. And the way she was swinging and like dancing, she was doing it in a way that you think that this should have been done earlier. Because I believe that this act if this bill becomes an act, then it will prescribe how you do it. Because I think there is a way that you can try to do it and then you distract the people, such that instead of focusing on the message, they focus on you. So, Honorable Chair, I would like to say that this is too important to be left in the regulations. Let it be in the law, the way it is in the National Land Commission Act, the way it is in the one for engineers, it is also in the Act. So it is better we overdo than we underdo. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9F, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be read a second time. Will as many as the say aye? Aye. Will as many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be part of the bill. Without this amendment, Yeah. Honorable members, I now put the question that the new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be part of the bill. Will as many have said that question? Will as many have to say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New part 4.
How do we get this? No. Honorable Member Millie, can you move the amendment? The title which you have already has been approved, yeah. Which is registration and regulation.
Which part is it again?
Just the title. Be amended. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that the amendment of the new Part 4 be further amended by providing that by deleting it and replacing with the title, by deleting and replacing with the registration and regulation of sign language interpreters.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the title be amended by deleting the current one and inserting, what is it? Registration and regulation of sign language interpreters. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 4, part 4, be amended, the title of part 4 be amended to read the registration and regulation of sign language interpreters. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 16A, new clause 16B, new clause 16C, new clause 16D, and new clause 16E.
The movers, any of you can move the justification of the new clauses for the second reading.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. This is to justify the sources of funds for the council.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. Will as many of the parents say aye? Will as many of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I propose the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be part of the bill. Will as many of the parents say aye? Will as many of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it.
New Part 6, a proposal to insert the following heading immediately before clause 17, Part 6, miscellaneous provisions.
Mover. Give her the mic. Give the honorable member the mic.
I beg to move that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before clause 17, Part 6, miscellaneous provisions.
I now propose the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before clause 17, Part 4, miscellaneous provisions. I now put the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before clause 17, Part 6, miscellaneous provisions. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New schedule.
Mover, second reading for the new schedule. Where's the new schedule?
Honorable Chair, I propose that the new schedule be part of the bill.
No, be read a second time.
I propose that the new schedule be read a second time.
Okay, give the justification. Give the justification, Omol Khair, why it should be read a second time, the new schedule. Why did you change it? Where's the new schedule?
The new schedule gives us provisions for the conduct of business and the affairs of the council. It wasn't considered in the initial.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the new schedule be read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that the new schedule be read a second time. Will the men of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will the men of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I propose that the new schedule be part of the bill. Anybody who wants to contribute? Honorable members, I now put the... You want to contribute? Honorable members, I now put the question that the new schedule be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Honorable members, I propose that clause 2 be part of the bill. Amendment by somebody has an amendment. Omul Khair. For clause 2. You have an amendment. You have a proposed amendment. A insertion of expression in the opening statement immediately after the word, acts, and all those. You don't have that material with you. You did ask for an amendment.
Clause 2. I beg to move that the clause be amended as it appears on the order paper.
waiting for the justification. Honorable Omul Khair, have you got the order paper where you have the clause 2? You did seek an amendment for that and you gave the justification. You said insertion of an expression in the opening statement immediate after the word act, deletion and substitution, therefore, the definition of the term cabinet secretary, deletion and substitution, therefore, the definition of the term council, insertion of a new definition.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Give the justification for that.
I beg to move that the clause 2 be amended as it appears in the order paper. This is to justify and provide a definition of the term as used in the bill. The term and to give clarity.
I now propose that clause 2 be amended as it appears in the order paper. Yes.
Chair, I'm looking at the definition of the word cabinet secretary in the bill, the original bill. Cabinet secretary means the cabinet secretary responsible for matters relating to education. The new definition is we are substituting that with means the cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for matters relating to the persons with disabilities. Now,
Yes.
this is where we need to find a balance. This is about sign language. It's about language. Okay.
So what did you agree?
Here, language is a subject matter within the purview of education. Of education. Although this education relates to the education of people with disability. But then the new definition we are giving for cabinet secretary is cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for matters relating to persons with disabilities. Now,
Which cabinet secretary?
we need to understand whether this is a bat, whether the bat is an animal or is a bird. And this is where we mess this bill. This is where we mess this because currently we have a bill on disability. We have a bill on disability.
Under which ministry?
Which is actually under the ministry of those that are in charge of disability.
Which is which ministry?
Ministry that currently in charge of disability.
Is it gender?
Gender and social protection. And that bill has provisions for sign language. For sign language. It has provisions for sign language. And when we bring in the issue of changing it from education to the ministry now under disability, whether we are doing either an legislation or we are putting it in the wrong hands, in the wrong place. Because can the minister, for the time being in charge of disabilities,
Gender and social protection.
Yes, do things in the Ministry of Education.
Social protection.
So I would have loved to see the committee report. The committee report. And I would have also loved to see, were there any amendments from the committee? What did the committee say? Because this now, if you look at this bill and you look at the amendments that are here that my lady Omolher is pursuing, this bill completely obliterates this bill. Makes it completely different from this bill. And this is a Senate bill. This is a Senate bill. Having come from Senate to here, we gain concurrence, we pass. Of course, we are making amendments, which is our duty and our job. But these amendments are actually more than the contents of the bill. And I am afraid, I am very afraid, are we doing the right thing? In this
the question is it more appropriate to the Minister of Gender and Social Services or in education?
Is that we leave it under education. We do not change to ministry in charge of
Isn't education, Minister of Education already has hands full?
This is about language.
No, but it's also disability.
Yes.
It's also disability.
It transcends many things. You guys, we need to recommit the whole of this bill so that it is relooked at.
Honorable Billy. Merely, but from where I sit as a member of parliament for the DAB, I think the Minister of Education already has got his hands full. And the Minister of Gender and Social, what do you call safety or whatever, social protection. This is a societal matter, and I think it wouldn't be in the best interest of the people who are affected for this to be lumped with the Minister of Education, which is already a very big thing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, actually listening to Honorable Mzuri, not Honorable Mbaya, I'd want to say that I actually hear him, that we are talking about the issue of sign language. And as a language, it needs to have home in education. Because what we want is we want students taught from childhood to different levels. Where will that budget be situated? Will it be in education? Will it be in gender? When we situate it in gender, it becomes a disability issue. So it's actually a difficult thing. If we actually, the easier thing, it should be actually in two ministries. But the Ministry of Gender is already dealing with other components of disability. Social protection is dealing with issues of other aspects of disability. But because we want it to be revolutionary, to show that what we want is actually sign language as a language, it would be better if it's situated in education. So I would want to agree with the majority leader that perhaps Honorable Umi can drop Cabinet Secretary for...
You just dropped the amendment, that's all.
No, it's just because there are several. There are several, so she'll just drop the one on Cabinet Secretary.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, sometimes the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Yes. We have had situations where we have situated something in one ministry, and because it's experimental, it has not worked. Let's give it 3 years, 4 years under education. Yeah. If it's not working, Parliament is still here. We can still bring an amendment and put it in the proper, it's sort of like the way our women representatives have had a challenge with the issue of sanitary towels. Do we situate it in gender? Do we situate it in education? Because it's a cross-cutting issue. We want the girls to receive the pads, yet it's also a gender issue. So let's give it. I agree with the majority leader that we could try out education, and then later, if it doesn't work, we bring it back to
So you move an amendment right now of dropping.
Yes, I would request my sister Honorable Umi to consider to not recommit because she's moving. Yes. She just drops. Yeah, she just.
Honorable Alwach.
Chair. It will be entirely on the discretion of the two co-sponsors to drop or not to drop. But my view is that sign language, which is the basis of this bill, is cross-cutting. It is an education matter, mainly affecting persons in school. But remember also, it affects people in workplace. We were just speaking about how we communicate in Parliament here. We were talking about how telecommunications stakeholders need to be able to ensure that people who are deaf and blind are able, and these deaf and blind people, they are not just in education. The practitioners and users of this bill, when implemented, by far supersede the confines of education. So my view is, if I were Umi, I would locate it in both. I would allow it to be under gender protection, without necessarily removing it from education. Education would still be able to budget from it because the bill provides for obligations for persons who would be affected by this bill. But that is up to the mover and the sponsors.
The mover, Mulher.
Chair, I would be happy to drop the clause on cabinet so that we're able to leave it in education. I believe it's best if this particular bill stays in the Ministry of Education because we are looking at it from the argument of being a language bill and not a disability issue. If we confuse it with the Social Protection Ministry, then it will bring an overlap with the PWD Act that we just passed recently. So my request is that it remains in the Ministry of Education.
So you're dropping your proposed amendment for B?
For B, yes.
For B of clause 2, part B, yeah?
Yes.
Only on the cabinet.
Clause,
Only
clause
on the
2B.
Cabinet Secretary,
Only on the
yes.
Cabinet Secretary.
This is
Okay,
clause
fair
2,
enough.
clause 2B, yes.
Okay. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2B be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Mover. Will as many as parents say aye? Aye. Will as many contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2 as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many of the parents say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
Honorable members, I now propose the question the honorable members, I now propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. As many of the parents say aye? Aye. As many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of the parents say aye? Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. The mover to move reporting. The honorable mover to move reporting. Do you have a form which is going to assist you in?
Before we go into reporting.
Yes.
Can I? Okay, I'll do the committee. Okay, thank you.
Yes, proceed.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its considerations of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many of the parents say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. Call the speaker.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report to the Committee of the Whole House to consider the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9.
Wait until you get the mic, please.
Where is the mic? It's here.
Wait until you get the mic.
I have it.
Proceed.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the House has considered the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Point of order.
Mover of the motion, Muher, Honorable Muher.
Mover of the bill to move agreement.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Irene Mayaka to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Erin Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Thank you, honorable members. I now propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Yes, Majority Leader, Honorable Baya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the House be amended by inserting the word subject to recommittal of the following clauses, Honourable Speaker. That we commit the new Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. And those parts, Speaker. And also would like to request the Honourable Ndikiri to second the motion. New Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. And I would like to say that I have looked at the committee report. That's my justification. I have looked at the committee report, which I'm holding here. And I'm looking at the new amendments, especially the new parts that have been included, the new clauses that have been put into this. It totally changes the bill. And because it totally changes the bill, we have a duty as a parliament, when we have almost 80% of the bill having changed without even public participation on the same, we risk ridicule out there in court or any other place. But we need to relook at it. And because we have an opportunity, it is a Senate bill, we have an opportunity to sit down, relook at all these things, and realign them. Because if you look at this committee report, which Umulher sits in that committee, and where I sit, and I have looked at it, and I have seen that the committee itself has a lot of issues with the bill. And you can see that the committee report has things that are important we need to input. Okay. So I request that we agree but let me be seconded. Sir,
I would like to give a chance to seconder first. Member for Vuri.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I totally agree with the observation of the mover of the amendment. I second.
Honorable members, before anything else, I would like to propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, subject to recommittal of the following clauses: new Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. I can now encourage the point of order. I start with the leader, Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I want to just tell the majority leader that what he is doing is not in good faith. We have been consulting back and forth and agreeing, and we have actually we had agreed to recommit one clause 8B. Instead, he is actually coming up with the recommittals without even consultation. It's not in good faith. That is not actually how people operate in this house. But over and above that, Madam Speaker, you keep referring to a committee report, saying the committee didn't agree. We know how people legislate in this house. We were doing the fisheries amendment bill yesterday. The committee has its own amendments. If the committee didn't agree, where is the committee? Let's start from there. We don't even know which committee. Is it the committee for education or is it the one for social protection? Which one is it? Where are the amendments? You cannot have members sitting here from morning. Some of us were actually rushing through traffic, listening online. We hardly slept. We have come in the morning to do our work. The committee is not here. And then you are telling us that you are disagreeing because the committee disagree. Where is the committee? I would want to encourage members to disagree with your recommittals. It's in very bad faith. Chair, it is in very bad faith. Let members reject. And in any event, this is not fatal. You have agreed, there were two bills. One was sponsored by Crystal Asige and one by Umi. And I advised them that merge the bills so that you have one bill. So yes, it's emanated from Senate, but it's the same bill that Umi did. So it's not just a Senate bill, so that we cloud members because some people don't like Senate. Me, I love Senate and I love National Assembly because we all do legislation. So let us not cloud members. Honorable member, I would urge you, we still have mediation. If I were you, please correct what you have done and let us go to mediation for some of those issues when we have consulted. But this bill has been here for a long time. Where's the committee? Where are the amendments? It's not in good faith. It's not.
Leader, you have made your point. Yeah. No, you have a fresh point of order. You have a fresh. Yes. Go ahead, Wakil.
Honorable Speaker, and I want Honorable Bayer to listen. When you raise, I want Honorable Bayer to listen because he may need to respond. Honorable Speaker.
I'm not talking to the Honorable Bayer. You are addressing the House, so just continue.
Thank you. Speaker, when a member raises a question that the bill raises amendments that fundamentally change the character of the bill, that needs to be raised not at the committal stage when we have already called for the reporting. He needed to have raised a question for a determination, a substantive determination by the Speaker that this bill cannot proceed in the third reading because it raises fundamental changes that would change the character. So I think raising it at this point, I agree, is in bad faith. And secondly, Honorable Millie has said, it is open to mediation. If we have done things that the Senate disagrees with, that is the reason why we have mediation. I would like to urge you to drop your recommittals and allow us to conclude this bill.
Can I, Majority Leader, can you allow me to just give a few, then I come to you? Oh, you want to drop? Oh. Let me give a chance to the Honorable Rahim Dawood, member for Imenti North. Don't be too harsh to the Majority Leader.
No, thank you. Madam Speaker, the majority has mentioned that the Senate has given what the bill was, we have changed it, but that is what happens because even my bill, which was here, went to the Senate. When it was amended, it was brought here. It's now in mediation. So what is the big deal about it? And the changes which the majority is saying, I do not think we need to take that into account. We go to mediation and sort it out. But being afraid that Senate will, what has Senate done and we change it, it doesn't make any sense to me. So majority withdraw.
The Honorable Irene Mayaka. The Honorable Majority Leader. The Honorable Owen Bayer.
I want to say this, and I want to take you. I say I like Millie Odhiambo. If she had not been married by now, probably I would be. I like her. I like her very much.
For sure something is out of order. The Honorable Farah Maalim. The Honorable Farah Maalim. Order, CNN, order. Order, CNN. No, take your seat. The Honorable Farah is on his feet and he's on a point of order. Proceed. And he's your senior. 5 terms in this house is not a joke, CNN.
Honorable Speaker, you notice he is resorting to going into the emotional and sentimental, what do you call, other side things. And giving an impression that if you come along with me, I want to go and he doesn't. Does he know whether Millie is available is or not? So Honorable Oyambaya, just drop your recommittals and amendments. Drop the amendments and we proceed. If you love us so much, drop the amendments.
The Honorable CNN, before we go back to the Honorable Bayer.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to ask whether it is good to sexually harass Millie. The remarks made by Owen Bayer, you are sexually harassing Mrs. Millie, and I think he needs to withdraw them immediately. They are not parliamentary.
The Honorable Millie, you have been mentioned too many times not to
Thank
say
you,
a word.
thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the honorable members who are standing with me in supporting me when Honorable Bayer is saying that if I was not yet married. And I know it is in goodwill, and I know Mr. Mabona is watching. Yes. But Mr. Speaker, when you reach the age where I am, when I'm seeing 60 yonder, it is approaching. Yeah? If a man actually looks at you and thinks you are very beautiful, it is encouraging. So don't be too hard on him. It's a very encouraging thing. Being in menopause is not an easy thing. He will not marry me, but he's encouraging me. He's not sexually harassing me, he's encouraging me. So, because it's on a light note, he's not harassing me. If it was on a serious note, he would have seen me fire, see fire. He would have got fire, see fire.
Yes. So, honorable members, canter and banter is allowed in this house. I believe that the honorable Bayer was just bringing some life into this debate. And now I can now seriously give you an opportunity. And interestingly, Millie doesn't mind. Millie doesn't mind what you said. And Millie, I must tell you that you look so good. Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona. You look good. You don't even look anything close to 60. So you are doing good.
Be on record that I would like to drop the recommittal so that we make progress. I also want to tell Millie, you know, petty jealousies from Farah, from CNN, will not discourage me. Will not discourage petty jealousies. So we would like to drop the commitment because I am encouraged by the fact that this will go into mediation. And therefore, at mediation, we'll find a balance so that we pass good law. I think I come from the perspective that I would like us to pass good law. And I do not want us to go into mediation where we have too much to mediate. I think we need to have parameters of mediation that are, slim. But having said all that, I would like the attention of the... Yes, she's being guided. She's being guided. I would like to withdraw and drop the commitments. Thank you very much.
Well, honorable members, you know it's not easy to legislate, and especially by young members like the Honorable Umuher, and also with the support of our senior member, the Honorable Millie. So, honorable members, bearing in mind that the majority leader has dropped the recommittal, I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. I also request Honorable Dawood to second.
Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I congratulate Honorable Umulkhair for taking this step, being a first-term member and a nominated member. I think she has done very well for where she's come with this Senate. She has assisted in moving this bill. And Madam Speaker, it's very important for us to set up this sign language bill because a lot of people suffer out there without a lot of things being done. So with this bill, I hope we can institutionalize the council, sign language council, so that we can go forward giving the PWDs their due. Thank you, and I second.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the sign language. I'll take that again. I now propose the question, which is that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will as many as... I can see many people want to comment. Let me start with the Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to add my voice to this particular very important piece of legislation. But first of all, congratulate my fellow nominated Member of Parliament, Honorable Umi, for the fantastic job. I was following while she was actually going through the third reading with the help of our mentor, the Honorable Millie Mabona. Congratulations for this piece of legislation, because the Kenya Sign Language is one of those things that has really been used. We see it on TV, we see it in public functions, we see various members of public who have gone through the lessons who actually do this very noble job, but they've never had a situation where they have a professional association with the kind of work that they do. And so for this particular bill, and even the fact that it will now even encourage and have even more Kenyans actually take interest in studying this particular course of being Kenya Sign Language professionals, and also just to encourage and have accessibility for the deaf people in our community to be able to have access to this, so that they can be more prosperous and they can be more productive in the society. So, Honorable Speaker, once again, congratulations to Honorable Umi and Honorable Millie Mabona, and I support this bill. I thank you.
The Honorable Faramali.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I want to join my colleagues, and I want to commend the movers of this very, very good, well thought out bill. For the longest, people with many forms of disability in our country have not had the nation and Kenyans thinking about their welfare. 80% of the buildings in the country right now are not disability friendly. You can go to other parts of the world and you find that almost 100% is disability friendly. And I'm talking about public buildings. So this is going to go a long way, a very long way, in making sure that that very powerful sector of our society that has had the misfortune of living with some of these disabilities will be taken care of by the rest of us. So I congratulate the movers. I also congratulate the majority leader here, who has added a lot of value into the bill. And I also encourage the Minister of Education in this case to create a specific dedicated department that has got its own separate vote that will be working on people with disability. And as Millie puts it, let us have a sign language interpreter every function there is. Any public function. If it's Madaraka Day, we have to have a sign language. If it's any national day, and in addition to it, as Parliament ourselves, let's lead the nation in that accommodation. I think even in our parliamentary proceedings, it would have been very good for somebody, the picture of somebody who is telling what Millie Odhiambo is saying. And people who cannot hear can watch exactly the proceedings and how you're talking out there. It's no longer like when me and I were in Parliament, more than a decade ago, and all the proceedings in Parliament used to be in the newspaper. So people who cannot hear would read the newspaper and see what she has said, because there was a whole caption on Parliament. It used to say, "Yesterday in Parliament." We don't have that these days. So it's important also for them to listen to parliamentarians as they deliberate on matters of national interest. So you can have somebody in our own national television here, the parliamentary press itself. You have somebody who is there and who is translating our contributions in sign language. So I think House, National Assembly, Senate, Parliament has to lead in this process. And let me tell you one thing. This might look like a very ambitious bill. This country is known for having extremely ambitious bills. We had the ban on smoking in public places. And everybody was wondering, how is it going to be enforced? And I think over 90% of Kenyans don't smoke now. This is a country where you enjoy sitting in public places without having to worry about somebody smoking next to you. And then came the issue of the plastic bags. And when it came to the smoking, I remember Charity Ngili were in parliament with her, did such a fantastic job as a minister for health that time. And today we can boast as a country. You go to other countries and you find it difficult even to walk in their streets because everybody's smoking. And I'm talking about some of them which are first world. Here we are leaders in that side. I mean, in that particular.
I know you are very passionate on this subject. But
Yes,
I know
yes.
it is
Now let me just
reading,
finish. Let me just finish.
Please limit your debate.
Yes, yes. I'm limiting it. Issue of that, even the constitution that says that we have to have a certain gender balance in our constitution, in the representations in parliament, it's somewhere. We might not get it, but it is a good move in a sense because we're able to bring in the other gender into the mainstream. That's why Emilia Mabona is doing what she's doing right now. The technicalities and the way to go about it, whether to constitutionalize it or not, is up for debate. But to have more women in parliament is quite a very good thing. So thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank the movers and everybody else who has contributed on this bill.
Thank you. We also thank you. You have also done a very good job as the chair in the third reading. The Honorable Millie, do you have an intervention or you have dropped?
No. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Umi and Honorable Asige, who are the principal sponsors, and then, of course, Honorable Kamar, who was also a secondary sponsor in the Senate. It's a good bill, and it also shows that we are concerned and care for our people with who are I don't want to say disabled, but are differently abled. Madam Speaker, I have listened to what the majority leader has said, and me, I take my word seriously. We are going to meet after this, together with the sponsors, and find a way so that, because it's actually, I do understand even from where the primary sponsors are coming from, that on the one hand, we are focusing on the issue of language, but on the other, when you are dealing with the issue of sign language, it's very easy to cut across other areas. So we look at how we can actually harmonize, either through mediation, and even if mediation doesn't work, you know our standing orders gives us room for bringing back this bill and amending, including an overhaul within 6 months. Or with the special leave of the House, we can actually bring it before 6 months, but so long as we are agreed. So I think it's something that we can do and give the House a way forward so that we don't let our people with disabilities struggle and suffer because of our own defect. Otherwise, I congratulate Tumi. This was really wonderful, and keep it up. You make us proud. I've seen the young women who have come in this House, this 13th Parliament, who are nominated, are doing exceptionally well. And I want to say that I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bayer.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Umi and Asige and all those people that have put together this bill. And I want to echo one of the things that Honorable Millie has said. You see, in this chamber, the younger legislators need to learn from veterans like Farah, like Umi, who has, there's no bill probably in this House that hasn't had the input of Millie Odhiambo. And legislation, being in parliament is not just about representation and talking. We have a fundamental duty, legislation. And I want to say congratulations to Umi for actually taking that bit, that you can actually come with a bill, legislate, and move it forward and allow it to pass. I'm afraid sometimes that as we progress, the numbers of younger people who have come get diminished as we move to third reading. People love second reading. But when it comes to third reading, it's the old guys, myself, Millie, Farah, probably Muli, and young legislator like Mayaka, yes. Rindikiri is an old hag, doing very well. Actually, he sits here throughout third reading. And I think this is something that we need to teach young legislators. Let's stay in this house. Let's make laws. Let's put our brains into it. Let's have a bill having 120 amendments because everybody's thinking different so that we can enrich the legislation that is coming in. But I want to thank the ladies. I don't want to call them women, the ladies. I want to thank the ladies. The men have disappeared, but the ladies have stayed. So I want to ask the men, and I think I would need to call a men's conference. I need to call a men's conference. And then we cannot allow this parliament to be taken over by brilliant minds that we have from the women. Men have bigger minds, brilliant minds. And they need to come bring them here so that we can input in the legislation of this country. I congratulate and say I support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank the members who have come out to support this particular bill. I also want to appreciate the Kenya National Association for the Deaf for also taking part in the drafting and their contribution to this bill. My colleague, Senator Crystal Asige, who has been very supportive at the Senate, especially during the contributions and the passing of the bill, together with Senator Kamar. I also want to appreciate the stakeholders who took part in supporting this particular bill. Mr. Speaker, one of the dreams I had when I was nominated to this House is to bring a bill on Kenya Sign Language. I used to lobby the members of Parliament between 2018 up until 2022 without knowing I would ever have a chance to sit in this House. And I had sent this draft to so many members at that time. And I'm grateful to Allah because He gave me the opportunity to serve in this House and to see how far this bill has come. It's a passion project for me. It is a challenge that I've experienced firsthand because I deal with many, gone through the stages it has gone to. And we are here today, Mr. Speaker. I want to also inform the House that Kenya as a country will be among the 5 countries to have passed this bill. Other countries in Africa are yet to reach where we are today. South Africa recently passed Kenya Sign Language as part of its official language, Mr. Speaker. But Kenya in the 2010 Constitution recognized Sign Language as an official language. Today, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Kenya among the countries that will be having this bill if we pass this bill. So I urge the members, even as we go towards the end, please come out to support this bill because we will not only be supporting the deaf people in our community, but we'll be putting this country on the map as among the countries that are the most progressive in deaf and disability issues.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Rindikiri, and then we will put the... Rindikiri.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And don't take us
I really would like to take this opportunity to thank the movers and the support system led by our senior, Mary Mabona. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here, I am the patron of the PWDs in Meru County. And I'm very proud to be part of this family. Mr. Speaker, this Friday, I'll be joining the teachers with disability of Meru County as they celebrate their formation of their association. Mr. Speaker, the immediate brother I follow is just retired, as I said earlier. He was a teacher at Kaga School of the Deaf from North Imenti. Mheshimiwa Lahim knows him, and is very passionate on the ability of our people with special needs to communicate. So this bill has come in handy. Mr. Speaker, myself and the majority leader, we were not really trying to push for this amendment for the sake of it. We were looking for a law of posterity. And earlier conveying a message here that we need to hand part of the functions of the council as research, because they are handling other factors, because we don't know the potential of these people who require the services of interpretation. All in all, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. There's always a step forward that set the pace for the future. And I want to thank the movers, because this being the initial step that we are taking towards ensuring that we have a formal recognition of the importance of the sign language and the people we are talking to. I really would like to take the exceptional congratulatory note to the committee, to the people involved in this, and we hope as we move forward, we will be able to iron out the small issues that has come up. We look forward that the Senate will also relook at it, and we really build this so that we don't find ourselves back here trying to bring those amendments. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the mover. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
An act of parliament to give a bill for an act of parliament to give effect to Article 7.3b of the Constitution on the promotion and development of the use of Kenya Sign Language, to give effect to Article 54(1)(d), to provide for the inclusion of sign language in education curriculum, to provide for the use of sign language in legal proceedings, and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the Penal Code Amendment, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
Anthony Ulwash, this was your own bill? Eh? Yes, the sponsor, yes. But I'm looking at any interest. Emilio Odhiambo is. Oh. Honorable members also are interested in contributing on this bill, which is the Penal Code Bill, Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill of, I don't see any names in here. Yeah,
Thank you.
Emilio Odhiambo, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do support the proposed amendment to the Penal Code by Honorable Anthony Oluoch. And Mr. Speaker, in supporting, I want to just say I'm very proud of Honorable Anthony. I've known Anthony for a long time, a very good friend of my brother Dan Harrison. They were in school together. They've studied law together. And when they were studying their law, they used to use my notes. So it's not only the women who have benefited. Sometimes it's good to show off. He even used to sleep at my place when they were studying. So I'm very proud that he's very focused at doing a very, very good job. And Mr. Speaker, one of the challenges that we have faced in dealing with the issue of suicide as a country is the fact that we criminalize the act of suicide, which is actually a disease. Mr. Speaker, it's also similar to how we deal with alcoholism or addiction, that you find somebody sitting down and trying to lecture a person who is an alcoholic about dealing with, being more responsible, Mr. Speaker. It's like telling a person who has cancer, you are giving them a lecture about how they should make sure they are well. A lot of people who commit suicide, not a lot, many actually, almost all, Mr. Speaker, from medical evidence, are people who are sick mentally. They are facing mental challenges, and what they need is support, not criminalization. And what we need is perhaps that they get mental support, Mr. Speaker. We should treat this as a medical condition. Mr. Speaker, when I lost my mother, which was very unexpected because I spoke to her in the night, and she died suddenly in the morning. One of those days, Mr. Speaker, I went through such a dark place that I actually told somebody that I understand how people talk about having mental challenges. And I told somebody that for the first time I understood the book of Psalms 23, where they say, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. And Mr. Speaker, when I lost my mom, I walked in the valley of the shadow of death. And I understood how people can get extremely depressed. And Mr. Speaker, this is one instance. Can you imagine there's a person who has lost their mother, who has lost a child, who has lost a sibling, who has lost a spouse? Mr. Speaker, what do you think that person is going through? And then we are talking also even of the country right now. Mr. Speaker, there are many times you find a person who has a degree, who has a master's, and is serving as a watchman. There's nothing wrong with being a watchman, just that they are not paid very well. I know a lot of us Kenyans who live here, many people who serve as security, but they are paid fairly well. But in Kenya, when you're employed as a watchman and you have a degree and a master's, Mr. Speaker, that can take somebody into depression. And you have situations where you see a mother and has her children, and she doesn't know what the children are going to eat. Maybe they have gone without food for days, Mr. Speaker. Now, when you find such a mother attempts to commit suicide, instead of seeking to help her, we criminalize and commit them to court. Mr. Speaker, I know that there are people who have been concerned that this goes against Islamic teaching and Christian teaching, because Islamic teaching and Christian teaching goes against taking of life. But a sick person is not a person who is knowledgeable. Even in Christianity, if you look at the book of Joshua and the book of Judges, there were cities that were set aside for people who had not intentionally committed murder as cities of refuge. Meaning there are people who by accident would commit murder. And a person who is mentally sick is one of those people. They don't have the mens rea, which also in law we recognize. Mens rea is the guilty mind. So when you have a sick person and we want to say that we need to criminalize them or punish them, I believe in Christianity, it doesn't go against Christian teaching to help that person. In Christianity, there was a city of refuge for such a person. And our city of refuge in modern times is actually psychiatrists and other professionals that can help. And I know that to a large degree, the Islamic faith is very similar to the Christian faith. The only departure, of course, is that in the Christianity, we say you don't go to God except through Jesus Christ. And in Islam, Jesus is seen as a prophet. But fundamentally, most of the things that we say we believe in are very similar. And so I'm sure if there is a city of refuge in Christianity, I suspect there must be a city of refuge even in Islam. And because there's that city of refuge, let us look at people who are depressed, who need help. We give them refuge that is given in the book of Joshua, that is given in the book of Judges, through medical intervention, not through punishment. And I therefore fully support the proposed amendment by Honorable Anthony Olwach. And I want to encourage that maybe the challenge that we are facing as a country is how expensive the facilities for mental wellness are. I think I shared here in the house on the floor, I think 2 weeks ago, that I have a nephew who has challenges, mental challenges. And Mr. Speaker, every time he's admitted in hospital for less than a month, it's 1 million Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, how many people can afford 1 million Kenya shillings? We make this a very expensive affair. And then the facilities that are government-oriented are also stigmatized, that you can only be taken to Mathare, and Mathare is seen as a very stigmatizing institution. We need to provide institutions which are maybe called wellness or some other fancy name, so that when people go there, we don't stigmatize. The same way, if I have malaria, I'm not stigmatized for having malaria. A person who also has mental health should not be stigmatized for having mental health, Mr. Speaker. I support.
John.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity for me to also contribute on this amendment to the Penal Code. Mr. Speaker, I must confess that as a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, when this amendment was submitted to us, I was thoroughly opposed to it because I thought it was a vicious attack on Article 26 of our Constitution that guarantees the right to life. That article guarantees the right to life, and I thought by enacting the amendment, we will be technically and from a bystander's view, be legalizing suicide. But after the appearance of the Honorable Member from Mathare, the Honorable Watch, and the other stakeholders, I met my Damascus moment, and I thought this is something which we need to support. Honorable Speaker, this clause has been in our penal code since 1930. It has served its purpose, and I tend to think we need to carry out a cleanup of the entire penal code so that we can remove some of these old clauses that really do not tally with the times. Honorable Speaker, a person who attempts to commit suicide is literally a mental patient within the definition of Section 2 of our Mental Health Act. This is a person who is going through difficult moments. This is a person who is suffering depression. This is a person who is suffering trauma. And I have looked at the intendment of this bill, and basically what it seeks is basically to acknowledge that individuals who attempt to take suicide are very often struggling with many health challenges, trauma, depression, and severe emotional distress. Do we need to literally punish up this person by penal sanctions, by committing him to prison, or having him to pay a fine after taking him through a rigorous trial process? I do not think so, Honorable Speaker. And I will tend to think that at this particular moment in time, and has been rightly pointed out by the previous contributor to this particular motion that was ably moved by the Honorable Watch, this is a person who requires help. This is not a person who requires to be punished. This is a person who requires assistance. This is a person who requires empathy and not punishment. And therefore, it is critically important that we pass this particular amendment so that we can really be able to look into the circumstances that actually make this person to be depressed and think of taking away his or her life, which is deemed sacred. Honorable Speaker, in the course of our engagements with the stakeholders, Honorable Speaker, we were informed that this matter has also been taken to court and the courts have had to pronounce themselves on it. Honorable Speaker, in the High Court Constitutional Petition number E045 of 2022, that was taken by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and two others for the Attorney General, the High Court considered this provision in the statute, and the High Court held that persons who attempt suicide are deemed to be suffering from a mental illness and lacked the necessary intention to commit the crime of attempted suicide. And said these are persons who are suffering a mental illness, and therefore that provision in the in the Penal Code, Section 226, is unconstitutional. So as we speak here, as we debate on this floor of the House, the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya, which also exercises delegated power of the people of Kenya, has pronounced itself on this particular provision and has held that this provision is unconstitutional. So what do we have to do as a House? We have also to align our statutes, because we are the law-making institution. We must align our laws with the Constitution and what the judiciary has proclaimed. Equally, Honorable Speaker, I asked myself, what was troubling me is that if we remove these particular provisions, then what happens? What happens to these people who are suffering a lot of trauma? What happens to them? Honorable Speaker, I found solace in Article 43 of our Constitution that guarantees everybody, every Kenyan, good mental health and good health. So as a country, we need to work upon provisions to ensure that people who are suffering trauma, depression, and illnesses are taken care of. Honorable Speaker, I looked at the Mental Health Act, and Honorable Speaker, I found a provision in the Mental Health Act, and specifically Section 2, that can take charge of this particular provision. That act indicates a person with a mental illness to include a person diagnosed by a qualified mental health practitioner, which means we need actually to work upon our mental health facilities and to ensure that decriminalization turns to meaningful protection and care of people who have mental health. Section 2C of the Mental Act is very specific. County governments and national governments are obligated to develop the necessary physical and technological infrastructure for the care, rehabilitation, and provision of health services. So what are we saying here, Honorable Speaker? We need, as a House, and the county governments equally, need to make serious provision for rehabilitation of people who are depressed, people who are suffering mental illness. So they are part and parcel of this particular society. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular bill and urge that we pass it. But we need to move a step higher to ensure that in each of our 47 counties, we have places for rehabilitation, counseling, for people who have, depression, trauma, because people don't invite depression to themselves. They don't invite trauma to themselves. And these are our people, our Kenyans. And as I always point out, we live for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. So as a House, we need to allocate more resources towards the rehabilitation of people who are suffering mental health. And we ensure that almost all our health facilities have provisions to take charge of people who are suffering mental illness. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support and thank the Honorable Member for Mathare for bringing up this particular bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'll be very brief, not to repeat what my colleagues have said. But from the onset, let me begin by saying I'm supporting these proposed amendments of the Penal Code by Honorable Anton, a member for Mathare, who has been my good friend. And also, I've interacted with him in many social settings, and he has been really championing on this proposed amendment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people who go through many disorders like mood disorders, anxiety disorders, personality disorder, or psychotic disorders, sometimes they can contemplate to commit suicide. And it is not their wish to take their lives. And that is why I am saying we don't need actually to criminalize the act. We need to come up with a solution of supporting them, and also looking at these people, we give them refuge through medical intervention. And it is very important, once we experience this kind of people, we give support rather than subjecting them to prisons and, of course, criminalizing them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some of these circumstances that lead a person to contemplate committing suicide is the issue of long-term isolation, prolonged work stress, which you usually go through. Even I'm sure some of our members of parliament here, they are very stressed when they are going through, when they are waiting for the next elections. And many of them actually can go through hormonal fluctuations and trauma and stress. And that is why we are saying they might even end up contemplating committing suicide. And Mr. Speaker, instead of doing this, let us build in each country at least a facility for mental challenges, so that we can handle many of these. Our society, if you walk in every town in your constituency, you will see these people going through these challenges. And I think it is high time we support these amendments for the sake, and even we will align it in our constitution so that we don't really heavily punish people who are innocent, Mr. Speaker. And without laboring too much on this, I fully support, congratulate Anton Oluoch for these wonderful amendments, and I fully support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Brindikiri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand here to support this amendment on the penal code brought by our senior Honorable Oluoch. Mr. Speaker, suicide is becoming a killer factor in this country. I will specifically point out in my constituency, Mr. Speaker, we have seen a wave of suicide, particularly among the male people and the youth. And it's across the country. Why? Because of the environment that majority of these people are operating from. Statistically, Mr. Speaker, you notice that it has confirmed the cases where there are family conflicts are forcing some people to commit suicide. Mr. Speaker, the increasing influence of the peers and consumption of illicit substances, not by choice, but being forced by circumstances. Majority of these people are committing suicide. Mr. Speaker, you'll find that even the situation that we are observing in our learning institutions, Mr. Speaker, there is always something related that forces people to commit suicide and trying to also to kill other people. Mr. Speaker, I think it's that time we start dealing with preventive mechanisms that forces people to commit suicide. I agree, Mr. Speaker, scientifically, there are some proven cases that if you have a lineage of people in your family of committing suicide, there's a possibility that somebody else within that family will commit suicide. But if it is a known case, then there could be a mechanism put in place so that when it happens, or they attempt to do so, it is known that they are doing this because of natural inherited situations. But these people are not criminals. By your standards, people who commit suicide, they are not criminals. So subjecting them to severe penalties on like those other people who are committing crime is not a good thing. And I think the penal code that we are operating with is an old one, just like it has been pointed out. I think we need to move away from that and start now dealing with a situation where these people will be given other form of rehabilitation. Because I'm sure, and I have seen these cases, suicidal cases, people coming up and repenting as to why they did that. And when somebody has done that, then we should not be condemned. So all what I'm saying is this, Mr. Speaker. These are our brothers, these are our sisters. And some of them can be rehabilitated. And that's why we are saying that we need working rehabilitation centers equipped with adequate medical facilities that will get these people back to us. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I think we need also to ensure that we have various programs, particularly focusing on our youth, the boy-child initiatives, so that they'll be able not to take an option of life, taking their lives, and they go to another level of confidence building. Because majority of these people who commit suicide, there is a certain level of inferiority, which has been perpetuated by various factors. So, Mr. Speaker, this amendment comes handy, and I want to thank Oluoch. Oluoch comes from Madale, and that's why we have Madale Medical Hospital. I think because of the experiences that has gone through, because he is the one. So he has a lot of experience, and that experience, I think, has caused him to really to come up with this in an induced development that has caused Honorable Lodge to come up with this amendment, and we really support. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a nice bill, and we really need to really encourage it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable member for Nyando.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And on the same breath, allow me to support this bill as advanced by my brother, Honorable Anthony Oluoch. Honorable Speaker, this bill is timely. Timely to the effect that we have so many people languishing either in jails or subjected to very punitive measures by our courts of law as a result of this Section 266 of our Penal Code, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for one to have attempted suicide, it must be having a very direct link with a mental disposition. Honorable Speaker, life is sacrosanct. And to the level that somebody as pure as life is and of great value to have thought through to take that life out of his body, there must be something tragically wrong. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore most important that we treat this, any suicidal attempt, as an affront to not just our lives, but a mental issue that calls for greater introspection that would lead into medical attention, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, coming at a time when organizations that have been consistently drawing a lot of their funding from the United States are now cutting back because the government of America is not willing to fund even on psychotherapy issues of people undergoing medical psychosocial issues, Honorable Speaker. Is therefore something that we must collectively as a House truly relook into, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, once these people will be subjected to psychosocial and psychotherapy medication, Honorable Speaker, you may realize at the end of the day that indeed issues that probably propelled one to think along the lines of suicide, Honorable Speaker, are not as so stringent as to warrant death. If people who have mental issues can be taken to hospitals such as Madare, where the mover of, where the sponsor of this bill represents, Honorable Speaker, can be taken through medication.
I want to recognize the presence of students from Kabule Sobet Primary School, Sotik Constituency, Bomet, and students from Kiserian Adventist School, Kajiado West, Kajiado. I'll come back to you. Yeah. And give an opportunity to the gracious lady here to give words of encouragement to the students from those two schools. Kapole Sobet Primary School and Kiserian Adventist School. Give them words of encouragement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to encourage the lovely students who have visited us today. My word of encouragement to you is that first, put God first in everything that you do. Commit all your plans to Him and you will succeed. The second thing is generosity. Always share your wisdom with each other. If you're good in maths, help the person who is not good in maths. The third thing I would want to tell you is always be grateful for the opportunity. Many students would want to be in school, but they're not in school. You have been given that opportunity. Respect your parents, listen to your teachers, and above all, work very, very hard. Finally, observe something that we call growth. Every day before you sleep, ask yourself, have you learned a new thing? And if you've not learned something new, kindly make sure you open your dictionary and learn something new from that, from whatever you for that day to be marked as something new that you've learned. Finally, I would want to tell you, if you want to become a lawyer, an engineer, a pilot, whatever you want to become, start acting like them. Sleep like a lawyer, eat like a lawyer, talk like a lawyer. And my final question to you would be, is there a lawyer who plays PlayStation the whole day? Is there a lawyer who sleeps the whole day? Is there a lawyer who watches movies the whole day? Thank you so much. God bless you. And we look forward to seeing you successful in the future. Thank you.
Daud, you want to congratulate the students? You want to contribute? In addition to that is also another school called Namgoi Mixed Day School, Chesumei, Nandi. The students, the young men and women are in the speakers gallery. And I want the Honorable Member for West Mugirangu to say words of wisdom to these students again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to join you and the entire House in welcoming our learners to the August House and assure them that they are at the right place and learning from the best house in the Commonwealth. And I want to add what my sister has said. When you are in school, learners, this is the time you define yourself, you define your future, and you are guarantee both yourself and the family you belong to of your career pathway. We have seen a tremendous transformation in the education system, which is now inculcating skills in you that will make you total men and total women when you start your career paths. Jitume and make sure that you excel in whatever you undertake. Please, while in school, learn from your teachers, but more importantly also learn from each other. Be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. Do not do that will hurt God and the law. And in particular, I want to encourage you that you cannot resort to taking your life, because you are in the House when we are discussing an amendment that takes away the criminality from those who attempt to kill themselves. Never ever harm yourself or anybody, never harm any property in the Republic, because the law will catch up with you. We wish you all the best. Journey mercies when you go home, and the teachers who have brought our learners here, keep bringing them, and we will always encourage them to be lawyers, to be engineers, to be doctors, to be teachers, and to be speakers of the House like Honorable Farah Maalim, who has welcomed you. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chemetian, you're the only one who is in the chapters right now from Rift Valley. And two of the schools are from Rift Valley. Proceed. You're also from Rift Valley?
Yes.
Great. She has done that. She has already given her piece.
But let me just put across a word.
Not just very flowery.
Thank you.
I can see the future presidents of this country. I can see the future senators, speakers, generals, ladies who are going to become ambassadors to Saudi Arabia with hijabi. and I can see a lot of potential up there. So give them
Very
all
true.
the words of wisdom and encouragement.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to say to all the students in the House today that success is very intentional. Whatever thing you put into your mind, whatever thing you wish, and everything that you do today reflects your life tomorrow. The world will not judge you because of your best grades, but they will judge you according to your attitudes and your hard work. Listen carefully to your teachers, respect your parents, and learn that the society belongs to everyone without prejudice of tribal, gender, and you will always be among the best people in this universe. Otherwise, I want to say, while you are in school, as long as you are in uniform, there will be a day that you will wake up in the morning and you will not be putting that on that uniform, because young or youthfulness is a transient. Make use of this time, work so hard, and you will always be paid. And hard work always pay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Character is everything, yeah?
Character, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'll call on the MP for Nyando to finish his contribution.
I thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, and on the same breath, I also want to encourage our young children to remain focused. Discipline is everything, above all, Honorable Speaker. Just their same age, there are now students who are facing murder charges, Honorable Speaker, because they lit fires into their dormitory at Utumishi Academy, Honorable Speaker. Young children, if found guilty and culpable, will stay in prison for their entire life because of a small decision, a wrong decision that they took, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, every student, those present here and those outside, before you act, think, and think deeply. Do not go by the spur of the moment, you know, what they would call the group thinking, the group mentality, but do the right thing. Honorable Speaker, taking a tangent from where I left, there are people who suffer mental illnesses and are taken to hospitals and they heal. They become normal, Honorable Speaker. A few years ago, I took one of my relatives who was suffering mental illness to Kisumu District Hospital, Honorable Speaker. And after 1 week, he had improved. He was very consistent in his behavior and became normal. And I was asking the doctors, what the problem then happens when you have many people either walking naked or are collecting garbage on the streets because of mental illnesses. And the doctor told me that because people fall ill and it takes forever to be taken to hospital, some of them are still being taken to witchcraft, Honorable Speaker. Some of them are taken to some cultish religious groupings with indoctrinated membership, Honorable Speaker. So that span of wasting time, you know, strengthens the mental disorder. And that is why then it becomes quite irreversible, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, what my brother, Honorable Watch, is coming up with is timely. We do not need to condemn these people without giving them a second chance at medical intervention, Honorable Speaker. And if that is going to happen, we are going to release many from our jails. We are going to have many who would have otherwise languished their entire life behind cells, Honorable Speaker, and give them a productive chance and produce to our society, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I support this bill, and I hope that we will also infuse a category where these people who will be subjected to medical help will also be funded, so that you do not have somebody who wants to take out his life and is still required to go look for money to have that medical intervention, Honorable Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable Dawood Rahim, followed by Honorable Mishimboko.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to support this bill by Honorable Oloch. I spoke to him earlier, saying suicide in Islam is strictly prohibited. Honorable Speaker, in Islam, Surah Al-Nisa 4:29 says that you do not take your life, because it says, and I will quote, and do not kill yourselves. That's what Surah Al-Nisa says. Allah is without doubt most merciful to you. The same is said again in Surah Al-Bukhara, where it says that your life is not for you, it is for the Lord. Mr. Speaker, suicide is not just suicide by its own. It goes, the Islamic scholars have now come up and said it is a mental health issue. And when you are not in control, because suicide, there are many factors which influence suicide, Honorable Speaker, such as biological, social, or even environmental. And depression is one of the main reasons contributing to psychiatric causes, and that 70, I think it's about 700,000 adolescents from 19 to 29 who lose their lives. Because of suicide. Mr. Speaker, the suicide rates are surprisingly higher in some of Muslim countries, like Nigeria and other few countries. They are higher than the global average. So, Mr. Speaker, mental illness like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder are more likely to rise among people affected by conflict and displacement, limited access to water, shelter, challenges such as unemployment and immigration. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about mental illness, we should even think about people who are facing life-threatening diseases, euthanasia. I want to ask Honorable Oloch to see if we can put the definition of euthanasia or assisted dying. Because, Mr. Speaker, there are few countries who have passed the laws that allow euthanasia, which is medically certified, that people who are suffering from illnesses which they cannot be treated, and they're dying in a way which is very, very difficult for the family and for themselves. So they get medically assisted, but it is criminalized in a lot of societies. Only a few countries have approved it. But I would want Honorable Oloch to see if we can include the suicide, which he has mentioned, the legalization. We are not saying we want to encourage people to commit suicide, but we have to be ahead and support our people, because otherwise there is a lot of issues with mental health in this country. And if you're not having suicidal thoughts, I don't know what you will do, because things are tough as it is. We need to have institutions established where we can talk, because in Islam it does not allow you, but some of the countries, because of religious beliefs, people will not commit suicide because of the religious beliefs, but they suffer in silence, Mr. Speaker. And we need to get that, maybe an institute or have mental health clinics more often, so that the people who do think about committing suicide, they will reduce. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad the bill by Honorable Olwoch has been passed by the Committee of Legal. Mr. Speaker, I tried to bring my bill on penal code, change of a penal code, where I said a woman who is pregnant or has a child of less than 5 years should not go for custodial sentence. But then I was told it was discriminatory against men. When I asked, do men give birth? And there was no question that men cannot give birth, but it was dropped. But I'm glad that the Committee on Legal agreed to this one, because it goes against the tenets of the faiths which are in Kenya, the big faiths, which is the Christianity and the Muslim. But now we have to, because there is a study which has been done in Egypt. The Islamic scholars have said a person who does not have control over themselves, then it is not illegal, it's a sin, but not kufr. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not pray during his time, did not pray the janaza salat for people who had committed suicide, but he did not refuse the others not to pray for somebody who has passed away for janaza. So that means he left it that at the end of time, Allah will make the decision whether this person will be thrown into the fires of hell. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I congratulate Honorable Olwoch, and I hope he can bring euthanasia as well in the bill if it is possible. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Mishimboko.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi pia niweze kumpongeza Mheshimiwa Olwoch kwa kuzungumzia mabadiliko ya mswada huu ambao kwa Kiingereza unaitwa Penal Code. Na niweze kusema mswada huu kwanza unaangalia kuweza kuhakikisha ya kwamba maamuzi.
Point of order, Konai. You want to speak on the issue? Okay. I thought you were on a point of order. Endelea Mheshimiwa Mishimboko.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Nilikuwa nafikiria atakwambia tueleze penal code kwa Kiswahili. Lakini ndio hivyo sasa akaamua yeye mwenyewe pia hajui pengine. Aendelee basi.
Niweze kusema ya kwamba kwa hakika mabadiliko haya yameenda haswa hususwa na kwa sababu ya Mahakama Kuu ilivyoamua ya kwamba kifungu 226 hakiko sawa na katiba yetu ya Kenya. Na haswa ukiangalia katika katiba yetu kuna kifungu 27, kifungu 28 ambazo vifungu hivi vyote vimezungumzia usawa na vimezungumzia kwamba mtu asiweze kudhulumiwa, kimezungumzia pia kuna haki ya binadamu. Na katiba pia imezungumzia haki ya kuishi, haki ya maisha. Na tunaona ya kwamba watu hawa ambao wanajaribu kujitoa uhai, kwanza huwa akili zao zimetoka katika kuwa akili timamu na zimeingia katika akili ambazo zimekuwa na tofauti ama zimekuwa na wasiwasi. Na ambapo iwapo mtu ambaye amekuwa na akili ambazo zimeingia tofauti na kuweza kutaka kujitoa uhai, alafu mtu yule aweze kuhukumiwa kwa miaka 2 na kupelekwa katika jela, inakuwa ni jambo gumu sana. Kwa mfano kule kwangu Likoni kulitokea kisa kama hicho. Mtu alitaka kujitoa uhai, akaweza kushikwa na akapelekwa gerezani. Lakini alipokuwa kule gerezani, kwa sababu akili zake kidogo zilikuwa zimefyatuka ama zimekuwa na itilafu, aliweza kukaa na kujiua akiwa kule gerezani. Kwa hivyo basi ni kumaanisha ya kwamba badala ya kwamba tungekuwa tumemsaidia mtu kama yule kuweza kumpatia mawaidha na kuweza kumpatia njia ambazo pengine ile misongamano ya mawazo machafu katika akili zake imeweza kupungua na akaweza kubadilisha mawazo ya kutaka kujitoa uhai. Sisi tunampeleka gerezani, tunamuongezea mchanganyiko wa mawazo mengine, mawazo magumu, na anaweza kujitoa uhai. Vile vile pia tukiangalia katika tume yetu ambayo inasimamia haki za binadamu, wamezungumzia ya kwamba, na walikuja katika komiti kule seneti na wakazungumzia ya kwamba asilimia kubwa sana ya watu ambao wanajaribu kujitoa uhai huwa wametoka katika akili zao timamu na wameingia katika akili ambazo zimekuwa na itilafu, ndiposa wanaweza kufanya jambo kama hilo. Na wakazungumzia ya kwamba watu kama hawa, badala ya kwamba sisi tuwachukue na tuwapeleke gerezani, tunatakikana tuwapatie mambo ya kuzungumzia elimu ya kiakili na kuweza kuwapatia madawa ama tiba ambayo itawabadilisha msongamano ule wa mawazo machafu na waweze kuwa na mawazo mazuri, ndiposa waache kufanya kitendo kama kile cha kuweza kujitoa uhai. Vile vile tukiangalia shirika la kiulimwengu lile ambalo linaitwa WHO, shirika la kiulimwengu la kuangalia mambo ya afya, limesisitiza ya kwamba tukiweza kuwafanya hawa watu ambao wanataka kujitoa uhai kama wahalifu, inazidisha sana uwezekano wa watu wengi kutaka kujitoa uhai. Na kivyengine ni kwamba watu kama hawa tunatakikana tuwapeleke katika tiba za kuzungumzia mambo ya afya ya kiakili na kuweza pia kuwazungumzia sana na kuweza kuwanusuru katika jambo kama hili. Tukiangalia katika taifa letu la Kenya, tunaona visa hivi vimekuwa vingi sana, haswa wakati tunaona kumekuwa na mambo ya madawa ya kulevya kwa wingi sana. Tukiangalia zile tunaita, watu kule mtaani wanasema brown sugar, wengine wanakuambia ganja na miadarati mingi sana. Na baada ya kuwa na hii miadarati mingi sana, ndio tumeona visa kama hivi vimekuwa mingi. Na je, tuangalie hii miadarati, mtu anapotumia akili yake inakuwa timamu ama akili yake inakuwa na tofauti? Na jibu ni kwamba akili huwa inakuwa na tofauti na anakuwa si yule mtu wa kawaida ama ile akili yake ya kawaida. Na ndiposa anaweza
nidhamu. Mheshimiwa Mishimboko, umebakiza dakika 5 wakati hoja hii itakuwa kwenye bunge tena. Wewe uko na dakika zako 5. Honorable members, on the time being 1:01 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 24th of June, which is today, the year 2026, at 2:30 p.m.